Lena, what about you, my love?
Mm, you know, for me, I have always wanted to relate to myself and my body in a way that honors its divinity, right? I've wanted to know what it feels like to truly see myself as part of the oneness that we talk about and we read about and we meditate on. And this practice, going into this practice and allowing myself to be guided to be really in it, has genuinely offered me opportunity to see my body and myself and my being as an offering beyond myself. This method has really supported me in not just moving so that I feel good or experiencing myself so that I can have the experience, in understanding that I too get to be an offering to the deities, to the gods, to the universe, to whatever it is that I feel like I'm in connection to. It's like when I'm in Sah Method, I remember. I remember my own divinity. I feel the interconnectedness beyond just conversation and relating to another person. It's like
Mm-hmm.
my body gets to become part of the offering. And that has fundamentally changed my whole self concept. What I allow for myself, what I receive, the way that I even kind of relate to my partner intimately now. It's like when I'm going straight for the overshare. Hi, I'm
Please.
Lena, and I
Yes. Yes, this is
when
the place for it.
yeah, okay, good. When I'm in bed with my partner and I'm connecting with my partner intimately now, it's transcending just the physical stuff. It really is. I really feel like I am the offering. I am love. I am whatever it is that I kind of feel in that moment. I get to embody that. And it's Sah method that allows me to play and experiment with that so that I can take it to these more meaningful moments in my life. And I have this point of reference for what it means to be in the full experience of whatever's coming to me and through me. And you don't get that by journaling or thinking, or even for me, praying for something
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been enough. It's like, can I
Mm-hmm.
open my body up to move as the mantra, to move as the channel for whatever it is that I'm calling in for myself? So
Mm-hmm.
the the Sah method meets you wherever you are
Mm-hmm.
on your own journey, on your own kind of exploration of self. But I feel like it would be irresponsible and a wasted opportunity for me not to say, like, this practice can really take you deep within yourself and to the high highs of I guess the spiritual connection that we're hoping is made available to us in this human life.
Mhm. Wow. Oh my God. Thank you. Wow. And I'm happy that your partner is experiencing deep, deep, delicious intimacy with you in a really genuine spiritual way. So yes, honey, that is the work of the Sah method. Something I want to share. People often comment on the Instagram reels or TikTok that I share the moves. They're like, oh my God, it reminds me so much of the OA, that show. And like, is this gonna take me to another dimension? Are we opening portals? And in the training, I do talk about the moves being portal openers and connecting us to these celestial realms and such. However, at its most basic, sort of a simplistic way of understanding the moves, um, the this Center for Science Center for the Greater Good Science Center, I believe it's called, out of Berkeley. I quote them all the time. I should know them from the back of my head, but I don't. Anyways, they've put together a study that shows that human beings have an average of 27 emotions. And what I've done in the training to put together this mathematical equation called somatic activated healing, I've pared them down into 20 emotions. And these 20 emotions, each of them have a move associated with them. And the moves and the emotions are connected to them. So if you're looking from the bottom up, you're looking at the emotions. The sort of the first 10 from the bottom up are sort of shadow emotions. They're only shadow because they're the challenging ones. They're the ones that feel heavy and unpleasant. And then the top 10 ones are the lighter ones. Um, So what you're doing actually when you're practicing these somatic moves, this kinetic movement language, this kinetic language, you are actually processing these emotions. You're meeting them, and you're as the the First Nation people of South America say, if it's coming up, it's coming up to go. So a lot of what's stored in our bodies, we're unwilling to look at. So instead of us having to remember what happened to us in order for us to bring about the feelings that are connected to those memories, all we do is we practice the moves, and those feelings that are stored in our bodies, they're going to be tickled and say, hey honey, time for us to move you up and out. Time for us to open ourselves up to open ourselves up to feel lighter, wider, to have a change of perspective by the way of releasing what's stored in our bodies, releasing the old, making room for the new. So when we're talking about the portal opening and more on the spiritual, allowing ourselves to be an offering, yes, the moves look like these incredible, offerings to the divine. And at a very sort of a practical level, we are just moving the stuff that's been stored in our bodies since the trauma, since the pain, since the challenges, since the stress. And a huge part of the somatic activated healing method is that we're never asking our clients or students or any of the classes that we teach to remember what happened to us in order for us to heal. You know how you feel right now in a moment. The only question I ask private clients, it's like, are the emotions from what happened to you still in your body? And you can kind of just like close your eyes and ask yourself that question, and your body will say, yes, it's still here, still here. The guilt's still here, the shame's still here, the regret's still here, the blame's still here, the anger's still here, the fear's still here. And that's okay. We don't need to say, oh, the fear is because of X, Y, and Z. We don't need to ask why. As somatic activated healers, we're constantly training ourselves and our students to always ask, how? How can I process this feeling? How can I process this emotion? And in processing the emotion, you change the way you think. When you change the way you think, you change the way you speak. And when you change the way you speak, you change the way you act. And then you have Lena and her partner having an entire new experience in bed because of it, So it's important to just know that, like, when you're looking at the methodology and the philosophy behind this, one thing I want to share that I kind of leave this for the training oftentimes, but I feel like it's important to say that, when we come back into our bodies, when we are rehearsing presence, we're rehearsing being in our bodies, and we're practicing these 4 techniques. They're techniques of embodiment, which are the moves, which is the breath, which is meditation, and affirmations. If you practice each of them individually without the somatic awareness, without actually not wanting to entertain the mind, not trying to visualize, beings of light, as Carl Jung says, visualizing yourself as a being of light will not set you free. It's about making the darkness conscious. When you bring somatic awareness to these 4 techniques, you're making the darkness conscious. And then what happens? Your heart opens. And according to Buddhist psychology, the heart has 4 qualities: love, compassion, joy, and wisdom. And I don't even know if I shared about the top-down versus the bottom-up approach. I'll come back to it. I said I made even a note about it. But let's just pass it around. How does it feel with what I've shared? Any comments, feedback, questions, anything that's coming up for you?
I think something that's important to note is that often people think when we talk about processing emotions or being with the emotions in the body, everyone straight away relates to those emotions that we might relate to being like shadowy emotions, the stuff that's hard to be with or hard to hold. For me, it has always been the opposite experience. Pain has almost become the most relatable thing to me within my body. I know how to be with pain. I've been with pain many times over, and I've reflected and realized that when I was with sadness or with grief or with anger, it felt like body and mind and almost soul was aligned in those moments. What I struggled with and what the method has helped me with is understanding, how can I actually hold joy? How can I actually hold love? How can I hold that like a sacred pride in my body for more than just a moment? How can I make it safe to be with those emotions and witness myself as able to be with them in a way that feels sustainable and in a way that feels safe? So that's been, a really powerful, I guess, transformation within myself. And as this method allows you to open your heart more and more, the physical aspect of this method actually allows you to hold that within your body as well, to not just understand that this is happening, but to actually like feel it and ground it and hold it, so that you get to move with that energy with the same kind of certainty and I know what this is that you might experience when you're angry or when you're really pissed off, or we know that in the body. As soon as we feel that, we can all probably even point to the physical sensation of where we feel anger, a burning in the throat, a rumbling in the belly, whatever it is. But where is joy? Where is love? Where is where does that exist within you, and how does it feel, and how can you make that just as sustainable, or how can you call upon that within yourself as powerfully as we do the other emotions? So for me, it's important to say it's not just about working with difficult emotions, it's about the potential to amplify the things that actually liberate us and actually support us in returning to the heart with confidence again and again and again as it begins to open.
Wow. Say it, honey. Drop the microphone. Actually, toss it across the room, honey.